Welcome to the Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast with your hosts, Josh Kimmel, Dave Campbell, and Justin Bowerly.
Welcome into this wonderful Friday afternoon, Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast. So we are going to go through all of our rankings. And when I say we, of course, it's me and my boy, Justin Bowerly. But we are here on this great... What's wrong with my camera, Justin? What'd you do? Bring him in here. Bring in Justin.
I didn't do anything to your camera.
I looked like I was like this. And now I look perfect again. What'd you do?
I can't change the way you look on your own camera, man.
Oh.
Now you're like messing with my camera.
You know what? It's called the magic of October Halloween. Did you have a good Halloween last night?
I made some soup, and then I watched the documentary on the Mendez brothers.
Sounds like a terrible Halloween. I took my kids trick-or-treating, and we got a lot of candy, and I ate literally a pound of Reese's Cup because my son doesn't like peanut butter. He's a psychopath. So he gave me all the Reese's Cup, and I was happy. So my stomach hurts today, Justin. My stomach.
I wonder why.
Definitely the candy. But we're here. Yeah. We're not here to talk about candy. By the way, drop a comment below. What's your favorite Halloween candy? I'm going Twizzlers because it's just the best candy of all time.
Kit Kat.
Okay, Kit Kat. And everyone else, Raphael, everyone else in chat, let me know. Speaking of last night, I was on a podcast last night with Greg Kellogg, one of our hosts. It's called Thursday Check Down Pros and Joes. I was a pro. And every time they said we're going to start with the pro, I just laughed in my head. I'm not a pro. I'd rather be the Joe. But it is what it is. Go out and check that out on YouTube. I told you guys to sit Malik Neighbors. Yes, I did. And we're going to go to our redraft rankings right now. Justin, where do we want to start?
Let's start with tight ends.
We can start with tight ends. Yeah. That's totally fine.
We always start with quarterback. Let's start with tight ends because it's the boring part of the show.
It is. Well,
there's no.
Hey, everyone tuning in. Everyone tuning in right now. This is the boring part. So make sure
there's no boring part of the show. By the way, did you see? I got the.
Oh,
3-piece on today.
Look at you guys. Look at you, man. You're just dapper as can be, and I'm over here sitting here with my. I literally have 3 shirts, and this is one of my 3 shirts. So, Scott Fishbowl, one of them. The Scott Fishbowl shirt that he gave us this year for the live events.
The black one.
It doesn't fit me. I'm too fat now.
Dang.
Yeah, I gained 20 pounds since the hurricane. I'm not even joking. But it is what it is. Yeah, oh yeah. Well, Justin, when you have to sit here and eat nothing but donuts and uncooked cold food, I mean, for 8 nights, I don't know what to tell you. I did gain a lot of weight during that time. It's not great. Let's start with tight ends. Someone that's not great. I guess are we just picking and choosing who we're different on? Because I have one here.
Looks like there's 2 right off the bat that I'm looking at. And by the way, if you are wanting to see these rankings that we're talking about, you can go to OUSFFPOD.com and you can view all of our rankings. The link is also in the description. If you're listening to this on YouTube, you can just scroll down in the description and click that link, and you will see all of these players.
Yes, and it actually tells you when we updated the rankings. Mine was updated yesterday. Our rankings, they will update periodically throughout the weekend as we get new developments. For example, Brian Thomas Jr. Right now, he's very low on my rankings because I don't know if he's going to play. If he does play, of course, we will move those accordingly. So the first one I see is Travis Kelce.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's the biggest one. I have him low. I have him at 7. You have him at 3.
You do. He's starting to come back. He's making his way back into relevancy. I think they're finally starting to get him figured out, especially with all the injuries. I mean, they continue to just get more and more wide receiver injuries, so that doesn't help. But Kelce's had a couple of good weeks. I don't if people haven't been watching. I mean, 15.9, 16. He had a weird 5.7 and then a 25-point game last week. He's got Tampa Bay. All things lead to, I mean, that should be a shootout even without Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. So I'm hoping that they get the ball moving because Kelce should be up there.
Yeah. So my ranking is strictly based on I actually like 6 guys better. It's nothing against Travis Kelce. It's just you're asking me Kyle Pitts, I'd rather take the athleticism versus Dallas. That's why I have him ranked higher. K. Dotton in the same game, process of elimination. They don't have anyone else in Tampa Bay. And we've seen if they don't have anyone else, they target K. Dotton a ton. He's not the most talented guy. But Evan Ingram, I have at 4, which you have him at 7. I guess that's your other the
I
other
do.
big one.
Yeah, I have him a lot lower this week than I normally would have him. Evan Ingram has been kind of disappointing the last couple of weeks. It's even, I mean, he had what, the one game back in London. I guess he had a fairly decent game last week, but 13.6. He finished as tight end 12. He's finished 3, 19, and 12 this year. He's got to go against Philly. Philly's always tough, and they're in Philly. Jacksonville has not been good lately. I don't know if you knew that or not. But if Brian Thomas Jr. doesn't play, then okay, fire up Evan Ingram. That's him all day. But I'm just I'm not as high on him as I used to be. He is still, I think, Trevor Lawrence's favorite target, but even Trevor Lawrence has been pretty bad this year. So
No, and your assumption of like, oh, they are Philly. That it is like Philadelphia's pretty good. Mike Gesicki just had 7 catches on 8 targets for 73 yards on Philadelphia. David Njoku, 5 catches, 31 yards. So they shut him down pretty well. Kate Otten, by the way, he had 52 yards. So I'm just going by what tight ends have done. I just expect Evan Ingram to be not the number 1 target, but if Brian Thomas sits out, if Brian Thomas Jr. sits out, and they're relying on is Mr. Gabe Davis, Mr. Drop everything, Evan Ingram's going to be the number 1 target there. That's what I'm banking on. So we'll
you hope,
see.
especially with Christian Kirk now out for the season with his broken collarbone. So there's a lot of there's a lot of targets being vacated. So they should go to Evan Ingram. He's only gotten 5 targets the last 2 weeks consecutively. So 20 targets in 3 weeks. That's good, but 10 of those were in the first week he came back in London. So I just if he can get the target share up, then yeah, he should be a top 5 tight end, no doubt. I'm a little concerned that Jacksonville offense is not good and Philly's defense is usually pretty solid. So
Usually, man, I might bump Travis Kelce up a little bit, guys, just because Kyle Pitts just went bananas on the Buccaneers. Now they're different athletes, right? Travis Kelce's not running as fast as Travis Kelce has never run as fast as Kyle Pitts on his slowest day. So I don't expect him to be burning down the field for 50-yard touchdowns like Kyle Pitts did. But I do expect Travis Kelce to get majorly involved. Maybe I do bump him up. Maybe you did talk me into it. So, man, I just don't want to. I don't feel like it.
It's a weird game because
I don't feel like it.
There's nobody to throw the ball to in Tampa except for Kate Otten and Jalen McMillan. There's nobody to throw the ball to in KC except for Travis Kelce and DeAndre Hopkins. So like this might be a game where the 2 tight ends score the most fantasy points in that game.
Or it could be a situation where Kareem is a boring game. Everyone is expecting
it's Kareem
a shootout.
Hunt and insert running back for the Buccaneers.
Probably Rachaad White because
Rachaad White.
Probably Rachaad White. Probably because Bucky Irvin's dealing with that toe, which we'll get the running back shortly. And we do have questions on Puka in the chat. Listen, we'll get to the wide receivers as soon as we can. Right now, we're still talking about Noah Gray. Still talking about the tight end position. Is there any other discrepancies that you see? I think we're pretty even, Steven, the rest of the way down. TJ Hawkinson, we have low. I do want to say that. We have TJ Hawkinson down low.
We do.
Are we moving him up a little bit with he's going to play in full? That's what they're saying.
Yeah, he's fully healthy. He's ready to go this weekend. I'm not ready to move him up yet. I know he's going to immediately demand the targets. He's going to get those targets from Sam Darnold, but he also has never had the ball thrown to by Sam Darnold. So I'm worried about some chemistry there to start in his first game back on Sunday Night Football. But that's the perfect time for him to just blow up, right? So the linebacker situation for the Colts is a little weak. They don't have great pass protectors. So, or passing coverage guys. So if Hawkinson gets the targets, he's going to get a lot, and we're going to be completely wrong about where he stands on the rating on our rankings. But I'm tempering my expectations on Hawkinson in his first week back from a torn ACL.
Yeah, I kind of want to get spicy and move him up a little bit. He's at 13 for me, 16 for you, which I think is too low. I'm sitting here thinking if I have TJ Hawkinson on my IR, which I do everywhere, and I need to move him to my bench, am I starting him? Like, let's say he's 13 for me. Mark Andrews, I think I'm going TJ Hawkinson. So I got to move him at least above Mark Andrews. Tucker Kraft with Malik Willis. I think I'm doing Hawkinson over Tucker Kraft. Now we get to Sam Laporta. That's where it gets like, okay, do I want the guy who's getting no targets and he had one good week last week, or do I want to go the upside of TJ Hawkinson? That's I think where I'm going to 8, 9, 10 is where he's going to land for me.
I could move him up above Sam Laporta, but I have Sam Laporta at 14. So
man, you're a hater. You're just a hater this week.
I am.
You're just a hater. I mean, I can tell this by your list. Off the tight ends, you're just a hater.
Yeah. It's only gonna get better. So
I can't wait. Where are we going next? Drive the show for me. Where are we going?
running back? Running back.
Right. All right, we're going running back. I like running backs. You like running backs. Our top 3 are literally the same. Saquon Barkley 1, Kyron Williams 2, Derrick Henry 3. Literally, that's our 1, 2, 3. The biggest one I see off the bat is Jahmyr Gibbs. I have at 8 and you have at 4. Why do I hate Jahmyr Gibbs?
I don't know. You should answer that question yourself, though.
I hate Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't hate Jahmyr Gibbs.
Why do you hate Jahmyr Gibbs?
He's top 8. I've always said this. He is the running back 2 there, in my opinion. I think Montgomery is the guy they go to, but I have Montgomery down lower, right? But for touchdown work, it's been Montgomery. For pass catching work, it's been Jahmyr Gibbs. They're playing Green Bay with Malik Willis. I don't know if this is going to be a shootout. I don't know if this is going to be a situation where the Detroit gets a lead and then it's going to be a Montgomery game. I still have Gibbs way higher just because if he could bust off a 90-yard run, which I don't think Montgomery can do, but I don't know the situation there, and I kind of want to move him down. I did these rankings early Halloween, post Reese's Pieces Cups, pre. I think I started to think last night and go, man, I need to move this guy down a little bit more.
That's crazy. I'm just looking, you're looking at a floor of 16 points for Jahmyr Gibbs. It doesn't matter whether he gets touchdowns or not. He is involved. He does get touchdowns, period.
He does. He's been bolstering Montgomery.
Yeah, he's only gotten 3 games where he didn't score a rushing touchdown, but one of those he got a receiving touchdown. So he's scoring touchdowns. In fact, the only 2 games where he has not scored a single touchdown, he got 12 points and 17.6 in PPR. He gets volume. Like that's the thing. He's getting involved in this game. And no matter what, whether Montgomery gets 21 points, Gibbs got 12.1. The other game he scored 21, or Montgomery scored 21, Gibbs got 16. Like he is a consistent 16 floor guy. 32 and 20 over the last 2 weeks. I don't know how you can have him outside your top 5. But I don't hate you for it. I don't hate you for it. It's fine.
Because I had Joe Mixon up there and Joe Mixon balled out.
Yeah.
And you had him lower. You have Joe Mixon lower than I have 9. Gibbs. Yeah.
I bet Gibbs does better.
I bet he doesn't.
Mixon got 16 points. That's literally Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm looking at PPR. That's literally Jahmyr Gibbs' floor.
He scored 22 on me in the league last night. What the heck?
Well, then I don't know what your scoring is, but he got 16.6 points last night in regular PPR scoring.
Okay. I still don't think Gibbs beats Mixon. You want to put a little wager on this? Not money wise, just show wise, anything wise?
Sure.
Let's do it. We already have a baseline of Mixon, so we don't have to. We just have once he hits that number over,
Gibbs at 16.6.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's think about this wager. I didn't think of anything right off the top of my head, but if we're just doing something for the show,
how about this? Here's my wager to you. Since I did this on the show 2 weeks ago, if Jahmyr Gibbs scores less points than Mixon, you need to chug a Smirnoff Ice on camera on this show.
God, on ice?
Yeah, that's my bet to you.
So if buy an ice,
yeah, you have to go buy an ice. That's the rules, man. I'm making the bet. That's my bet to you. You can come up with my punishment later, but that's my punishment to you.
Okay, that's fair. I'll think about it.
Oh, so you didn't accept it
about yours? No, about your what you have to do.
All right. I mean, I'll do
Okay.
anything except hair's off limits.
Chug an IPA.
I'll do it. Done it before. I don't care. I mean, you guys saw what happened after the Smirnoff. Like, I could barely do the show after that. Imagine
You could
chugging
barely talk
IPA.
to us for the rest of the day. Like you were, I think you were buzzed all the way until like 9 p.m. that night.
I really, 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 really was. Man, I don't like how our rankings are so aligned though, because guys, the reason why I picked apart Gibbs and Mixon because that's literally
I have one. Let's talk about Josh Jacobs. You have him at RB11. I have him at RB16 against the Detroit Lions this week. Why do you have
yes.
him so high? Like why
So
is he an RB1 for you this week?
So, I was against Josh Jacobs my entire life. No, I really was. Then I saw him carry the ball 32 times one week with Malik Willis, and I'm like, wait, they're just going to give him the ball 32 times, and he's just going to just get fantasy points by inches at a time. It doesn't matter. They don't care about his well-being. They'll give him the ball 32 times a game. We've seen it, and he scores touchdowns. He's a hard runner. He's averaging 4.6 yards per carry this year. He's been unstoppable. When has he ever been stopped? Is there a game where he's been like ultra bad and killed your fantasy team? I'm looking right now. I don't roster him because I was so down on him in the preseason. Week 3, 5.8 against Tennessee. Yes, that was a bad week. Other than that, he's been semi-average. Against Jacksonville last week, he's coming off of a 25 carry game. That's the thing. When's the last I said this last night on with Greg Kellogg because one of our studs that sits, Rick, by the way, one of our friends of the show, he told us to sit Josh Jacobs for the main reason, or no, it was Greg actually. Greg told us to sit Josh Jacobs for the main reason is they have Malik Willis. They're going against Detroit, who has a great rushing defense, and they have no rushing attack. But Josh Jacobs has proven that he doesn't care. He's going to get 19 to 18 to 25 carries a game, and he's going to do it whether you like it or not. If he's averaging 3.6, 2.6, 5.6, they're still going to give him the ball. He's scoring touchdowns lately. He scored 2 last week. I don't see a problem with that. Now, I am going to move him down a little bit because I am concerned that Malik Willis is going to take away a lot of passing upside where everyone's going to know, hey, they're running the ball. And Detroit's such a well-coached team. They're not like the Colts who can't stop a nosebleed. They will. And I only say that because he did have 32 rushing attempts in that game. That's the only reason why I mentioned them. Nothing against you, no disrespect. But he's going against a better defense right now against Detroit. So he is going to get moved down a little bit in my rankings, but not too much.
As I say, you're talking about 2 touchdowns last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I know.
So they are not the same as the Detroit Lions. Even missing Aiden Hutchinson, you could just line up 3 defensive linemen on that team, and they will be better than the Jacksonville Jaguars. All signs lead to Jordan Love playing this week. So he has an 87% chance of playing this week. So this offense should be normal. We shouldn't be going, oh, what's going on with Malik Willis here? I just have him a little bit lower. Yeah. Okay. I have him a little bit lower. I think I just like the guys above him slightly better. I have Aaron Jones above him. I can't say that too much, but they got to play the Indianapolis offense, or defense. So that's not terrible. I also have guys like David Montgomery ahead of him. I have Devon Achane above him, Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, Breece Hall. So like I've got guys that I like better than him, just like you have guys that you liked better than Evan Ingram. RB16 is not bad. That's still a starting running back in most leagues. And if not a starting running back, that's a flex position. So it's not like I'm saying do not start Josh Jacobs. It's not like he's RB25 for me this week or RB55. But I like the guys that I have between 11 and 15 better.
My favorite thing about Josh Jacobs this year is he is leading the league in carries. You would expect someone like Derrick Henry or someone like that to do that. No, it's Josh Jacobs. And his yards per carry is up. His yards per carry is up by far from years previous where he was averaging 3.2 in Oakland or Las Vegas, wherever they moved. But this year he's creating yards. I'm on this website called Player Profiler right now, and he's literally 3rd in yards created, as in he's breaking tackles. He's evading tackles. Matter of fact, he's 3rd overall in the league in evaded tackles. You don't get that from Josh Jacobs usually. This is a rejuvenated Josh Jacobs. I did not, trust me, you could not find a bigger Josh Jacobs hater in the preseason than me. And I'm willing to admit that I was wrong on him, and he's been proving me wrong. You give the ball enough to one running back, you see what they do. Hey, Tampa. Hey, Todd Bowles, you understanding this? You understanding that you give the ball to your best player instead of some terrible Rashad White, you will be good. Give it to Sean Tucker. Give it to Josh Jacobs. Give him the ball.
Yeah, he's done well, especially over the last 4 weeks. He's exceeding his projected expectations. 3 of the last 4 weeks, and 5, 7, and 8 by a lot, actually. So it's not even like just, oh, he got 0.1 better. No, it's 2.4, 6.7, and 11. So, I mean, like I said, he's a good running back. I'm not discounting that. I just like 11 through 15.
I was the lowest on
He
Brees
might
Hall.
move up one spot above Aaron Jones this week, but just Aaron Jones versus the Indianapolis defenses.
We have Aaron Jones the same. I have him 15 too. But I just wanted to say I had Brees Hall the lowest out of everyone because I'm smart. What did Brees do last night?
What did he do last night?
I don't know. He didn't. I'm full disclosure. Raphael and Cap in the chat did not watch last night's game. It was Halloween.
Yeah,
I did check though. I did check the stats, and I think Brees
10.5.
Yeah, not great.
He's RB2. RB2.
He's RB2, baby. Let's go. Let's go behind Mixon. Oh, so not good. Not a good night for Brees Hall, as expected. So I have him at 12th, and he's not going to finish 12th. This one's going to be way wrong.
Yeah, I'm trying to find somebody that we have both kind of low in general that others might not.
I mean, it's hard to find. We're pretty.
I think Austin Eckler might be one. RB32 for me, RB30 for you. Derek has him at RB25, and he's been actually, I think, exceeding expectations on the season. The last 2 weeks, not so much, but before week 7, he was getting double-digit points every week, finishing as RB26, 16, 25, 25, and then 46 and 41 the last 2 weeks. He's going against the Giants this week, which is not like Chicago at all. And he gets used in the passing game a lot, but his targets have gone down a little bit. I'm really curious how the Commanders are using him more as the season goes further. But with the Giants this week, I kind of like him more, and I would expect double-digit points from him this week.
I'm just a bigger Brian Robinson Jr. fan than most, and even though I have him the lowest out of all of us, he's definitely going to get bumped to my rankings. Brian Robinson Jr. is 23rd right now. I have Eckler 30th. I'm just never in a situation where I'm like, okay, Austin Eckler is going to help my fantasy team this week in 2024.
See, I have him in like 2 or 3 leagues that I have him starting, so
that's awful. I feel bad for you. I'm sorry. You're probably
I'm winning those leagues. Yes, I am. But it's that running back, that 0 RB draft strategy that has really hurt, because a lot of the 0 running back players have also gotten hurt. So you get stuck starting Austin Eckler.
Yeah. It's just, Brian Robinson's only getting 53% of the snap share. So that means Eckler's getting the 47 other percent. So Brian Robinson is taking over, but just by a little bit. 101 carries. He's getting 14 carries a game. I just prefer in that situation, especially against the Giants, who give up the most rushing yards on the ground. Give me Brian Robinson this week over Austin Eckler. I just don't want to start. Like when it comes down to the touchdowns, Brian Robinson has 6. How many does Eckler have? Can't be 6. Can't be even close to that. I can't remember Austin Eckler scoring a touchdown.
He has 1 touchdown on the ground.
And to me, that's one touchdown.
I think he also has a return touchdown, but that doesn't count. So.
Does not count in regular leagues. Yeah. You brought up Austin Eckler like every week. What's up with you?
I do not bring up Austin Eckler.
What's up with you?
He's usually so low. I'm finding a player that has, I think, exceeded expectations so far this season, and he's he's always low. It never fails, but he is always low. I'm trying to look at what I was
for reasons.
Yeah,
we're going wide receiver next.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, let's transition to wide receivers, because I think we're going to have a lot more differences there.
Let's go.
All right, let's go. We can start with the top. The first one is Malik Neighbors. If you watched me last night on Greg Colleague's show, I told everyone to sit Malik Neighbors this week, although I do have him ranked 11th. So I don't really believe – it's hard. It's hard when he says, hey, man, pick someone in the top 12 that you're going to sit. Like that's or top 24, whatever it may be. It's very difficult to find a guy to sit who's a starting wide receiver, and that was his rule. So I chose Malik Neighbors, and the reason why I did is because they're going against Washington, who's only given up 170. Look at this. Off the top of my head, people, no notes. They're giving up 171 passing yards per game, so they're shutting down the passing game. Now, you'll go, Josh, like, look at their schedule. Who have they played? right? They played Lamar Jackson, who actually threw for 300 bajillion yards. They played Jameis Winston for a drive. They played Deshaun Watson for a bajillion drives, except for the last one. In DTR, they played DTR as well. I'm just going through. They played a lot of bad quarterbacks. Actually, it's over there somewhere in my notes. They played a lot of bad quarterbacks. Those bad quarterbacks, they shut down. All of them were completely terrible. Every wide receiver on that team was completely terrible. The only wide receiver that flourished against the Washington Commanders was Zay Flowers and Lamar Jackson. They shut down a lot of number ones. They did that. You can look it up. But Malik Neighbors is number 2 in targets. He's missed 3 games. He's elite. He's one of the best receivers in the game. Yeah, that's true. But how is he going to get the ball when Daniel Jones is getting sacked? It's one of the worst offensive lines in the league. Washington's getting a ton of pressure at the quarterback. What this proves is, with my assumption, my research is, when Washington plays a below average quarterback like a Deshaun Watson, like an Andy Dalton, who was on that list as well, they beat their ass. Sorry, Bobby. They beat their ass. So I don't expect Daniel Jones to turn into Joe Montana this weekend. I expect him to be Daniel Jones and get his ass beat, sacked multiple times, major picks, phasing Malik Neighbors out of the game. But I still have him ranked 11th because of the targets. That's all.
Okay. You did all the research on that. Malik Neighbors is also, I think, cooled off the last couple of weeks, if I'm not mistaken. He started off great, and so injured twice, or for 2 weeks, then 4.1, 7.1. Those are standards. I wish you could set a default to PPR and then just be 8.1 and 14.1. Not starting wide receiver material in either of those weeks. Last week he was wide receiver 30, so I don't hate you for having him so low. I might actually adjust that. The Commanders scare me, so
it's not even about it's not even about the talent of Malik Neighbors. We talked about this in the offseason. It's about the opportunity. And when he has cake matchups, of course he's going to ball out. And he's a stud player. He can easily catch a 2-yard slant and take it to the house, right? But we're talking about in general, what's he going to do and what's he done since he's come back since his concussion? It's really not that much. It really is. People were dogging Marvin Harrison for having 14-point weeks or 11-point weeks. Well, now Neighbors is doing that, and now Harrison's balling out. But no one wants to remember, oh, wait, now we're still calling Harrison a bust. We're still calling Neighbors a stud, but now the weeks have reversed. But nobody understands that. Nobody.
Yeah.
Puka Nacua. We have Puka ranked 13th.
I'm just looking at him.
You have him ranked 9th.
That will likely change. His knee injury is a little bit more concerning again. He came back 1 week. He's expected to be fine. He was limited yesterday. And he's questionable last week, and he still came out and balled out. Fantasy Pros has him ranked as wide receiver 9. I have him at 9 right now. Like I said, but I think I will bump him back because of that injury. I don't know how far back. I can only go back so far. God, I wish I had Garrett Wilson a lot higher than our wide receiver 12. But yeah, he'll probably be back behind Garrett Wilson this week. I've never been like a giant Puka person.
Or Cooper Kupp, because you're a hater on white receivers. You hate on both of these guys, and I don't know why. They're excellent. They're studs. They're elite. When they play, they're phenomenal, and you just continue to hate on them week after week after week, year after year.
Keith, what's the best thing for fantasy football? Availability.
You hate on them, but you have them both ranked higher than me, which is weird.
I do. It's weird. I don't know why.
It's because you ranked Garrett Wilson, because you didn't rank Garrett Wilson accordingly. 2 touchdowns last night. I have him for wide receiver 9.
We talked about how one of those touchdowns. I don't know how that was a touchdown, and Pickens didn't get a touchdown last week, but it's weird to me. Pickens had 2 feet in bounds, didn't get called a touchdown, but Garrett Wilson gets 1 foot in, and then like his knee goes out of bounds, and then he gets the other foot in, and they're like, yeah, touchdown. It's the greatest catch ever.
Because it was such a good catch. It was such a good catch.
It looked like Michael Jordan's logo. Like,
it was so good. Like, he is the real deal. If he ever gets a real quarterback over there, he's going to be dangerous.
I thought Aaron Rodgers was a real quarterback.
He is a real quarterback. It's just he's not Good.
Something happening?
Yeah, I can tell you off air. It's just I don't understand parents and how they treat their 7-year-old kids around here. And I just saw the same kid by himself again. I would never let my kid walk around by himself. So anyway,
Oh, you're talking
we'll
about
talk.
outside. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
I was like, what's going on in your house?
No.
Let's Drake London. Derek Carr might be back this week. Last time he played with Derek Carr was in week 5 where he put up
Wait, whoa, whoa,
33.4
whoa, whoa, whoa,
points.
whoa,
And
whoa, 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 whoa. You're telling me the New Orleans Saints traded for Drake London?
you are right. That I'm thinking of Chris Olave. I always get Chris Olave and Drake London mixed up. How do you feel about Drake
I
London, period? He's been going downhill since week 5.
Yes.
With 19.4, 18.3, and then 7.4. Do you think he bounces back against Dallas this week?
Earlier in the week in a super flex league, I traded CJ Stroud straight up for Drake London. Now I'm going to let that set in real quick. On a super flex league, I traded a quarterback for a losing, middling wide receiver. First off, did I win that trade or did I lose that trade?
You know what? Not even knowing what your quarterback situation was, I don't hate it. CJ Stroud has been
Ass. You can say
bad,
it.
just
Yeah.
since
Bad.
week 6. 5.3, 12.4, 11.5. That's not good from a quarterback.
And
I
even
mean,
last
currently
night,
he's QB2, but he only one. Yeah, I think you won that trade. Don't even know who your quarterbacks are. But even if you put Drake London at the super flex, he's already beating out CJ Stroud.
Exactly. And so I accepted that immediately. Because I am a big believer in Drake London. I'm a big believer. They played Tampa Bay last week where it was tight end week, so they had to prove a point. Every league had to go, you know what, we're gonna give our tight ends a touchdown. I think Drake London is still the number one receiver there, and Kirk Cousins and himself are getting into a groove. Yes, Darnell Mooney is involved. I understand that. But at the end of the day, Dallas is not great passing at all. Like they're not great defending the pass at all. So what makes you think that all of a sudden they're going to get good and stop Mr. Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins is freaking great. Are we wrong on that one? Are you a big fan of them?
No.
Dallas has given up 229.3 passing yards a game in the last 3 weeks. That's 20th. So they're on the bottom portion of that. And Kirk Cousins, all they're doing is slinging the ball around. I love him this week. I think this is a huge Drake London game. When is a wide receiver day?
Yeah, it's every day because the NFL favors wide receivers. So, let's Terry McLaurin.
Ugh, gross.
Terry McLaurin,
I
scary
don't,
Terry,
I
wide
don't want to talk about it.
receiver. Let's see, where do we have him? Wide receiver 7 for me, wide receiver 8 for you. Consensus, wide receiver 9.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate what I'm doing to myself. I hate that I'm ranking this guy where he should not be ranked. He's not a good wide receiver. What is happening? But he's producing.
He is producing. Wide receiver 2 over the last 3 weeks. That's pretty impressive. 23. He's finished as wide receiver 5, 16, and 18 over the last 3 weeks. That's starting wide receiver material. No matter like almost what league you play in, even if you only play in a one wide receiver league, that's a flex position. That's easy. He's getting targeted. He's 6, 7, 8 targets a game. That's pretty good. He's making usage of his targets. He's getting touchdowns. He's figured it out. He's finally got a quarterback. That's all I can
Yeah.
say.
Yeah,
He's
he's finally
finally
got
got a
a
quarterback.
quarterback. My only concern is Rich, I might bring him down a little bit and I might bring Cooper Cup a little bit higher. I have Cooper Cup at 14 right now. I might flip flop the two. They are going against the Giants, correct? Washington's playing the Giants. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the
Mm-hmm.
Giants overall in 2024 have only given up 189.4 passing yards per game. They are shutting down. What do you want? Whatever you want to say about the New York Football Giants, they have a very good, decent defense. They actually lead the league in sacks. Did you know that? Did you know the New York Giants lead the league in sacks? 35. They have the most overall. Can I say it one more time? They lead the league in sacks. Jaden Daniels is a little bit hurt, a little bit dinged up. He might hold the ball a little bit long, might get sacked, might get hit, might get hurt again. We don't know the situation over here. I am kind of worried about McLaurin, and I do want to bring him down a little bit on my rankings. Matter of fact, guaranteed. I'm already thinking about it. I have who has at 10? Devontae Smith at 10, Cooper Kupp at 14, Olave at 12. I would much prefer to start those guys against Terry McLaurin. So I am moving him down. Are you staying put?
I'm comfortable where he's. I might move him down a little bit. But I wouldn't hate if I just completely forget to move him down.
You mean you're not going to move him down at all? You're just covering yourself just in
No,
case.
we'll
You're like,
see.
hey, I said it on the show at 12:46 p.m. Eastern. I'm thinking about moving him down, and then you can go back and clip this for later on. I told you guys I might move him down. I told you there's a possibility he might suck this week. I was kidding. I'm joking. I kid. Last week against our week 2 against the New York Giants, he only scored 18 or 8.2. He had 8 targets, 6 catches, but only 22 yards. 22 yards off of 6 catches, no touchdowns, obviously. So keep that in mind. If he is covered by primarily Deonte Banks, which is a very good cornerback over there in New York, if he is covered by him, I'd be very, very, very worried. But of course, he is a wide receiver 1 these days, so it's hard to sit your studs. It really is.
Yeah, it really is. Raphael, you missed it. He has like 71% chance of playing this weekend. We don't know. Pay attention on Sunday, I guess. But
I want to
hopefully.
call you out on one player. Not call you out, just ask you because I haven't seen. Where do you have Michael Pittman, and are you going to raise him up with Joe Flacco?
I raised him up yesterday to as high as I possibly could. And I think that was wide receiver 26.
I'm going to raise him up. I have him 32 with Joe
That's as
Flacco.
high as I can go.
Really? So who you have at 25? Jaden Reed. So if Malik Willis plays, are you keeping Jaden Reed there?
I don't think Malik Willis plays, but
Who do you have at 24? Who do you have at 24? I can't even find who you have at 24. 21, you have Devontae Adams. You can't move him now.
I have Brian Thomas Jr. So if he doesn't play, he'll get automatically bumped up 1.
JSN, you have him at 23, so you prefer JSN over Michael Pittman, which is odd. That's fine though. I get it. I have JSN 1 ranking above Michael Pittman. I just don't understand. You're a Colts fan. You should know how awesome he has the most upside of any receiver in the league.
He doesn't actually, but I don't think anybody has ever said that he has the most upside in the league. So that's false. He doesn't look himself. He's been injured. He's had that back injury for a while that's been lingering on him. He hasn't scored 10 points since week 6 against the Titans. Now, mind you, he's getting Joe Flacco back. I understand that. And the only times he's scored double-digit points is when Joe Flacco has been in the game. But again, he's also been hurt since Joe Flacco has come back. He's got that back injury that is a little concerning. Josh Downs is by far the better wide receiver in Indianapolis right now, and I have him ranked higher, I believe. Yeah, 17. So Michael Pittman is a low-end tight end 2, high-end wide receiver 2, high end, wide receiver 3 for me right now. So he's still a starter.
Yep.
But I'm not banking on him being a top tier wide receiver right now.
That's true. We have a questions on Alec Pierce in the chat. Question mark. Just Alec Pierce question mark.
No.
That's a big fat no.
I would not. If you want actual like analysis on that about Alec Pierce, just go back and look at weeks. Weeks 5 and 6. What he did? Yeah, he had a big game in week 5. He had a monster touchdown, which was, I think, in the 4th quarter, and they needed a big play, and that was good. But I don't see Flacco launching the ball down 50 yards every play to Alec Pierce. Look at week 6. He had 4 targets, 0 receptions from Joe Flacco. He has been getting slowly kind of phased out of the offense as much as he has been. And if he's not getting a 50-yard ball down the field for a touchdown, he's not really effective.
Agreed.
He is 100% a touchdown dependent player. If you look at it, the 3 games that he has more than 5.5 points, he scored a touchdown in.
No, I agree with that. So we have a question on Jalen Coker. Hopefully I'm saying that name right. He did score a touchdown last week. Deontay Johnson's no longer in Carolina. He did score a garbage time touchdown with 20 seconds left in the game. Listen, I have him ranked beyond low. I have him ranked 56th. You have him 64th. And there's a reason for that. I don't care about vacated targets in Carolina. I don't care who's the next man up in Carolina. I don't care anything about Carolina. As long as Bryce Young or Andy Dalton are cycling through quarterbacks over there, yes, they have been startable weeks for some of these guys. I cannot get behind a guy who scores a touchdown in garbage time to achieve his biggest week of his career. We have Dontavian Wicks right next to him, 59 for me, 50 for you. There was a time where we were spending fab on Dontavian Wicks, right? There's a lot of these guys. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. I remember actually on Tuesday's show where this year specifically, we'll see a player like Isaiah Likely come out, score 32 points week one. We spin our fab on him and he disappears. Same thing happened with Dontavian Wicks. We expected Jalen McMillan to score as he's the number one option there in Tampa Bay. He did jack squat, diddly squat, nothing, right? I cannot in week 9 where I'm struggling to make the playoff, or we're making a playoff push, and put in some rookie, no-namer, never had a name guy in my lineup right now. Now, if you want to go pick him up and wait and see, totally great. I would do that with everyone I possibly can. But there's no way where I can find a spot right now for Jalen Coker. Until he shows me something else.
And that's honestly the wrong wide receiver to look at in Carolina right now. The wide receiver one is Xavier Legette. 7 targets last week. He did not have a garbage time touchdown, which helps against Denver. The thing is Legette is currently dealing with a toe injury also, so that might bump Jalen Coker up just because of somebody has to catch the ball over there. So I wouldn't. This is one of those situations you don't start any Carolina wide receiver.
Unfortunately, this week versus New Orleans, I'm not starting anyone. I hate it. And how long will the Panthers roll with Bryce Young in 20? I don't know if they will or not. They shouldn't. Honestly, they should not. But that's a deeper conversation of should rookies go in right away? Should rookies sit? It's just a whole situation where it's all team to team, player to player.
There's a serious development problem for the quarterback position in the NFL right now. You have so many guys being drafted and then immediately thrown into the game, and then they don't have time to actually develop. And then instead of actually letting them develop, they just say, "Oh, they're a bust," and move on. So,
and then it all comes from ownership too, because they're on rookie contracts. You want to win that Super Bowl with that rookie quarterback or that rookie contract, and the pressure gets to them, and then these coaches think they have to do it. It's unfortunate.
Yep. We're on the same page. Good job.
Look at us. We're awesome. We're so cool. Quarterbacks. Man, this is my first time looking at your quarterback list.
It's the first time I'm looking at my quarterback lists.
You're such a bum.
Jalen Hurts. I have him at 1. You have him at 4 this week. Going up against Jacksonville. I don't know how you can sit an elite quarterback against Jacksonville. I'm sorry. I don't know how you can have him under 3.
I have him at 4. I'll tell you why. Because I have Josh Allen versus Miami. And if you're a fan of the Finstock Sports Network, you know Josh Allen is our daddy. So I had to. The first thing I did in my rankings was go, you know what? I know it's Buffalo week. I know Miami's playing Buffalo. I got to put Josh Allen number 1 because death, taxes, Josh Allen beats the shit out of Miami. It happens. Every single year, every single time. Raphael knows what I'm talking about. It's just going to happen again. I think Josh Allen is going to torch this Miami Dolphins defense. And it's just out of spite because F them. F Miami. F them all. Let's go next year. Let's start over, man. Start over. Burn it down.
All the way. You know, I came to a sudden realization last night that Indianapolis Colts fans are just like Miami Dolphins fans now. It's like, is Tua our guy or is it somebody else? Is Anthony Richardson our guy or is it someone else? Like we're the same people. You know that, right?
Here's why you're not. And I'll tell you why you're not. Because you didn't get Anthony Richardson and say, all right, we're going to sit him and let Fitzmagic play or Joe Flacco play. And then, okay, now it's Tua's turn. And then in the second quarter, go, no, old guy, come back. This guy sucks. And then that right there killed Tua's confidence. Brian Flores is a piece of trash. That's just my opinion. I'm a big Tua supporter. So I guess you're right. But there's no one on the other side. No one's saying we need to start Skylar Thompson. No one's saying we need to start Tyler Huntley. Everyone wants.
You don't have you. I bet you. If you had Joe Flacco in Miami, they'd be like, "We need to start Joe Flacco."
Well, here's
guarantee
the thing.
it. Guarantee it.
Tua led the league in passing last year. We're fine with Tua. I think all the Tua haters have finally. And again, I'm not on Twitter, so I don't know. But I think the majority of Tua haters have turned around and go, "Oh wait, if he has time, if he protects himself, he's a really good quarterback." Except for in the wintertime where he's just totally trash. Which we're heading towards the winter. So, guys, if you're starting Tua, drop his ass. I have Tua ranked 18th, by the way. You have him 17th. Derek 18th. Look, Raphael says, "Give me Joe Flacco."
Yeah, exactly. Give him Joe Flacco. But yeah, no. Anyways, off that side tangent. Jalen Hurts, QB1 last week. Got to go against Jacksonville. That's an easy one for me. Trying to find differences here. Bo Nix, you have him at 12. I have him at 9. I probably have him way too high. I probably need to drop him down, actually. I think I have him up this high because I had to get him above Caleb Williams because I said you should start him instead of Caleb. And then I got in my head about Jared Goff being at 11 or too high, and he was too low for you. And I'm like, oh, he's going to get Green Bay. Should drop him a little bit. And then I think it was Patrick Mahomes, and I think I'd rather start Patrick over or Bo Nix over Patrick this week, but I don't know now. He'll probably be 10.
The biggest one
will be 10 for me.
The biggest one I see right here is Jameis Winston. You have him at 16. I have him at 11. I think we had this conversation on Tuesday. As long as Jameis Winston is a starting quarterback, I am never moving him outside my top 12. You will never see a ranking of Jameis Winston outside my top 12 because that man has the ability to throw a pick six and on the very next play, throw an 80-yard bomb.
Yeah.
No other quarterback in the NFL can do that right now. Nobody. Because they don't have the guts to do it. Jameis has nothing to lose. Jameis is a baller. He's making Cedric Tillman be a baller. You put Jameis in Kansas City, Sky Moore and all those guys are superstars. That's all I'm saying. Jameis Winston for president. Jameis Winston all the way, baby. I love Jameis Winston. That's a true fact. Clip that one. Jameis Winston on Kansas City, all those guys would be studs.
So Jameis Winston is better than Patrick Mahomes, is what Josh is saying. That's a bold take. Let's see how it plays out.
Where do I have Stafford? I have Mahomes 13. I have Jameis Winston ranked 11.
11. Yeah, that's true.
Am I wrong? Do you think Xavier Worthy would be a baller right now with Jameis?
Probably.
Yes, he would.
Patrick Mahomes is a little smarter with the ball and where he puts it, and Jameis Winston's just like, oh.
Jameis beat Baltimore, didn't he? Did he beat Baltimore?
He did. Baltimore did. Last drive, yeah. No, he's.
Yo, we're just eating W's over here, baby. That's what we do. Is YouTube gonna kick us out because I just did that? There goes our algorithm.
No, we're fine. Yeah. Yeah, we got to finish the show.
I know. Your wife says we got to be done by 1. Okay. All right. I'll hit the button. It's okay. I got to get back to work too. My real job. Thanks for everyone in the chat. Raphael, Cap, Jerry. If you did not comment, that's totally fine. Make sure you hit that like button. It really helps out the show. If you're following us on Fins Talk Sports Network, make sure you drop a like, subscription, all that fun stuff. And make sure you also go to OUSFF Pod. I know the majority of our audience is on Fins Talk Sports Network, but we'd like to get some help over here on our page, OUSFF Pod. Thank you so much. Check out our rankings, OUSFFpod.com. We'll be updating those. Actually, I'm going to update mine right after the show so I don't forget. Until next week, those guys, I can't even speak. Until next week, guys, we'll be back breaking down everything that happened in Week 9. Peace out.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. Follow on X and Instagram at OUSFFPOD. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.